I was born 2 years before Ukraine became independent. So I got my 2 years of being a Soviet Union citizen.
I was blessed to be born in independent Ukraine.
I always knew that all that brotherly nations situation is bullshit.
Ukraine declaring its independence from the Soviet Union was one of the major factors in actually the collapse of the Soviet Union.
That's a country that's, on the paper exists since, let's say, 30, 31 years on the paper, but actually exists since way, way, way longer. I mean, it can go back, it goes back centuries and,
I think up until the point when someone started to take this independence away from us, then I started thinking, okay, yeah, we are really, really young, and we really still have to fight for this independence. It's not for granted.
I was still, in the primary school when the Orange Revolution has happened.
During the Orange Revolution, I was at the pre-last year of the school.
I remember that my class, which was approximately 30 people, was divided approximately in half, in people who supported Viktor Yushchenko's candidacy for president and people who supported Viktor Yanukovych. And we, of course, knew nothing about politics. We were 15 and ignorant.
I was watching it a lot with my parents on TV, and I was, wearing some orange clothes and had like a orange Revolution flag with me that I brought to school.
Yeah, we studied in the school in Donetsk, the major city in Donbass, which is occupied since 2014, and I was that time in a school which was like kind of run by and graduated from the richest ever Ukrainian, the Rinat Akhmetov. And like with the classical Soviet tradition, every school personnel from the cleaning lady until to the principal had the party ticket of the Party of Region that time, so which was the opposite side of the Orange Revolution supporters. And I remember the day I came to school with the orange flag, and I got almost beaten over there. But I stood up, and so everything was fine.
I broke up with my boyfriend because he was 18, and my mom told me, like, you can go to Revolution if he goes, but his mom told him not to go, and he didn't. I was like, no, I'm not interested in you, man.
When the EuroMaidan began, that I really understood how much of a fight that Ukraine has to put through to make sure to secure this independence, because in Ukraine nothing is taken for granted.
I was a reporter at the Kyiv Post, so as a reporter I covered revolution from day one.
There was like a lot of small Maidans in different cities, and there were also one in Ivano-Frankivsk.
When the EuroMaidan started in 2013, I was in Donetsk the same, and I was one of the first people come to the same site as the Orange Revolution was holding in.
It was quite fascinating to see that a society could actually, have its own revolution for the values I tend to defend at the, let's say, at the gates of Europe.
Definitely it was dangerous to support EuroMaidan. It was several attacks on the site from the Titushka, and the police didn't do anything.
When the revolution has really started, on the night when the students were beaten up, I was actually in Crimea, in Bakhchisarai. And I remember watching those videos. We cried, we couldn't believe what was going on. And also, I couldn't believe that in half of the year, I wouldn't be able to go to Crimea again.
The EuroMaidan, of course, culminated on February 20th, when several dozen protesters were killed in the morning of that day.
The assignment was essentially to count the dead. We all had our kind of places where because they would bring the dead to different spots, and we had to go and count them.
That was extremely sad, but it also, when we speak about the price that Ukraine is paying to stay free, to stay democratic, to still be able to, make our own choices. That's one of the moments I think about when I talk about that.
Maidan, the Orange Revolution, taught us that we are in charge, that we can influence what's happening around us.
I think Ukrainian independence means for me that we have the control over our choices, and we can make our mistakes, but we can, learn from them and become better.
Actually, I don't think that Ukraine's independence means that much for the world right now, but it should.
I think the world would have lost so much if there wasn't an independent Ukraine.
Ukrainian independence for the whole world means that Ukraine is a shield today of the international order, a shield of the security in Europe, shield of the security in the transatlantic area, let's say.
It's a life and death issue at the end of the day.
If Ukraine's independence is somehow compromised, then this gives a false alarm to all the autocrats in the world who want to gain more power, such as China.
If a country declares itself sovereign and says this is who we are and this is our country, that has to be respected. And if it's not respected, that country has the right to fight back, and that country might actually win if it fights back, even if it's smaller.